ready for you.
Next, you're going to check the nose. So when you handle your rabbit, you're going to put your right hand underneath their chest, and you're going to use your left hand underneath you're going to grab like their hock area, and you're going to turn them. And this is so that way you're clearing their legs from the table, so that way their nails aren't catching and you don't want them ripping a toenail. So then when you handle your rabbit, you're going to grasp the shoulders. You don't want to scruff them, because then you could tear their skin and cause issues for the rabbit. So you want to just make sure you're grabbing those shoulders firmly. And you're going to lift the front end of the rabbit up first, and then you're going to put your left hand around the back, and you're just going to support that rabbit. You really want to make sure you're supporting their back end securely, because that's where they feel most comfortable. And this is just safer for you and for the rabbit, so that way you can avoid yourself getting scratched or from them jumping and hurting themselves. And then you kind of scoop them up and you tuck them under your arm. You want to make sure that those back legs aren't dangling or hanging out. So to pose your rabbit back on the table, you're going to grab those shoulders again. Remember, not the scruff. You're going to set the back end of the rabbit down first, and then gently lower the front end down. To pose the rabbit, you're going to turn them facing the judge, and you're going to cover their head with your left hand, and you're going to set each front foot under the eyes, and then you're going to line up the back feet with their hock, and then you'll pull their tail out, set their ears properly for their breed, then run your hand down their back, smoothing out the coat. So you're going to check the ear base of each ear. You're just checking the thickness and the cartilage of that ear. And then when you check inside each ear, you're checking for ear mites, and on the left ear, you're checking for the private tattoo of the rabbit. And then you check each eye. You're checking for blindness, so the rabbit should blink. And at this time you can also note the color of the eye to make sure that it's proper for its breed standard. Next, you're going to check the nose. You're just checking to make sure there's no signs of discharge or anything that would indicate snuffles or anything like that. And then you check the teeth. You're making sure those teeth are aligned properly and there's no malocclusion or buck teeth or anything of that form. Checking under the throat, the dewlap area. You're checking for any abnormalities, lumps, abscesses. And you're pulling up each front leg, feeling for straightness, just making sure those legs aren't crooked. And then you check the nails on each paw. So you want to make sure that there's 5 nails on each front foot, and you also want to make sure that none of them are broken or missing, and that they're all the correct color for the breed. And then when you run your hand down the stomach, you're feeling for any sorts of abnormalities, abscesses, lumps. And then you stretch out those 2 back legs, just checking for straightness there as well. Squeeze them together. And then you check the hocks. You're checking for sore hocks here. And then when you check the back nails, there should be 4 nails on the back. Again, checking to make sure that none of them are broken, missing, and that they're the correct color for the breed. And then you check the sex of the rabbit. Also just looking for any sorts of abnormalities down here, any signs of discharge or anything that could indicate a disease. And then also just checking that tail, making sure that it is straight, not broken, not wry. Again, you just pull the tail out again, just checking for that straightness, make sure it's not broken. And then you check the ear carriage of the rabbit, just touching them at the tips to make sure that they're true for their breed. And then checking the meat of the rabbit. You want to put some emphasis on the shoulders and the loin area, because that's where the most meat is. And then just checking the coat, making sure that it's true for the breed. Make sure there's no excessive molting. And then you repose the rabbit and you're finished with your examination.
Depending on the state and contest, you may do it non-verbally. This is an example of doing it non-verbally. You may handle your rabbit. Pose your rabbit back on the table. Examine your rabbit.